Imagine you're waking up in a $3 million apartment in the center of Barcelona with terraces just overlooking the city. This is just most people's dream apartment. And here's the truth, you don't need 10 properties to live this sort of lifestyle. One great commercial property deal can completely fund it all. Today I'm going to show you how a single retail property in Parramatta generates $124,000 a year in passive income. With 4 tenants and $330,000 in gross income, we're going to see if this is a good deal and how the cash flow can completely fund this lifestyle. I'm James Hawthorne and I research commercial property deals to see what sort of lifestyle they can actually fund. And today I'm going to break down the numbers and the strategy behind this one deal and how it can completely fund your dream lifestyle. So let's get into it. Now let's get into analysing the property that's actually going to fund our financial freedom. So I found this retail shop in Parramatta. It sold for $4.53 million. Now, as you can see, it's right next to the light rail, so it's in a really prime location, a lot of foot traffic, and it's in Parramatta, which is, Sydney's second CBD. So there's always going to be demand for retail shops. So it's zoned as a mixed use as well. So potentially down the line, once you can develop this into high-rise apartments. So you can have the shops at the bottom and the apartment at the top. And that's what's probably happened a lot around Parramatta as well. So as you can see, there's 2 tenants on the top, 2 tenants on the top, 2 tenants on the bottom. You've got the Domino's, and this is the property right here. And right across next to the light rail. You've got the metro around the corner, more light rail as well. Ferry right near Olympic Park in the middle of Parramatta CBD. So there's tens of thousands of people living in the area. So these retail shops are always going to be in demand because there's lots of foot traffic. It's right next to behind Combank Stadium as well. And it's, not too big, the retail shops, but big enough to house the tenants. And there's got some parking out the back as well. Right next to all these massive apartment buildings. You could add some solar on the top as a value add as well. And let's go look at, it's right in the middle of Parramatta, across from the light rail, so it's a great location. It's 2 adjoining freeholds, so 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, 4 tenants fully leased, and it's got a current income of $330,000 plus GST, which is really good income. So it's got the rear access, 1 car spot, which isn't great, especially in Parramatta. There's probably not a lot of places to park. Right in front of the Church Street light rail. So that's one of the prime things about this property, is that there's public transport in the area, a lot of foot traffic. It's mixed use zoning, so you can redevelop this property, add some, turn into one of those skyscrapers potentially, where you've got the retail on the bottom and the apartments at the top. So there's some value add opportunities. It's a great location, and the tenants, if you buy a property in a great location, it doesn't really matter the tenants, because the tenants kind of come and go. So the idea about buying in commercial property is buying a great property, where this is a great property where it's in prime location with value add opportunities where you can, it's mixed use zoning. So there's a lot of foot traffic. It's in a really good location. It's in one of Sydney's second CBDs, so there's a huge potential for growth, as well as they're not going to be producing more land in Parramatta. It's pretty fixed. They can only go up. So now this property brings in $330,000 a year in rent. Let's go and look and analyse the cash flow and see what sort of passive income this property can generate. So looking at our cash flow calculator, with the purchase price of $4.53 million, assuming a 30% deposit, and that income of $330,000 a year, and we've got an interest rate of 6.5%, so your repayments are going to be $206,000 a year. So the rent's $330,000, the repayments are $206,000. Your cash flow is going to be about $124,000 a year in passive income just from this one property. Now, if we look at our cash flow snapshot, the property doesn't go negative until 11% interest rate. So you've got a huge buffer. If the interest rates are currently 6.5%, it's not until the property gets to 11% interest rates does the property start to become negatively geared. And if interest rates start to go down to 3%, the cash flow is going to be $234,000 a year just from this one property. Now, we've seen interest rates recently go down to 3%. Now they've obviously gone back up, but if they've gone down before, they can go down again. And if you're generating $230,000 a year in passive income just from this one property, you're pretty much set for life. And if we look at our property pay down calculator, same purchase price and deposit, same yield, assuming a 4% rental increase each year, no extra repayments. Obviously in year 1, you've got the cash flow of 124,000. By year 5, you've got a positive cash flow of 220,000. By year 10, you're generating almost $400,000 a year in passive income just from this one property. And by year 11, the property is completely paid off. You've got no debt attached to it. So everything that's generating, all the income is going straight into your bank account as profit. And so by year 15, you're generating over $500,000 and $71,000 passive income just from this one property. So that's the power of this commercial real estate, is that the property can actually pay itself off in 10, 11 years just because of these rental increases and because you're using a bigger deposit. And because the tenant actually pays all the outgoings, you're left with just the actual rental income. There's not all these expenses that you have to pay when you purchase residential real estate. So you're generating over $500,000 in passive income, debt-free in 15 years just by owning this one property. Now, obviously in year 1, it's generating $124,000 a year in passive income. Let's see what sort of lifestyle we can actually live based off this passive income. So for balling on a budget, I decided to go to Barcelona, one of the most vibrant cities in Europe. And I found this really nice penthouse apartment, and the mortgage on it is $129,000 a year. So when you've got that passive income of $124,000 in year 1, and if you just top it up by $5,000 a year, you can afford this 3-bedroom luxury penthouse apartment in the middle of Barcelona. So now let's go look at the property. I found this amazing property with top of the line finishes, amazing marble kitchen counter. You've got a cinema room, huge open dining room. You got this amazing patio that you can have and socialize in summer in the nice Barcelona sun. You've got this open plan living, really nice kitchen, great bathroom, big size, 2 vanities, top of the line finishing, that herringbone, that really nice wooden flooring. And you've got views of all of Barcelona, really big bedrooms and bathrooms, pretty much everything you need to have, an amazing life. And this costs, $129,000 a year. Just from the passive income from this one property, you can live off passive income to pay down this mortgage of this property. It's an amazing apartment, top of the line finishes. Who wouldn't want to live here? I mean, let's look. I wonder if they've got any more. No. So this is a $3 million apartment in Barcelona, right in the middle of the city. Look at location. Not far from the beach as well. And so this apartment is completely funded just by, this one property in Parramatta in the CBD with 4 tenants. And in 11 years, it's completely paid off, and you're generating over $500,000 a year in passive income. And you can easily afford something like this Barcelona apartment, mortgage completely paid off, $3 million apartment with top of the line finishes, looking over all of Barcelona. It's a pretty amazing property, and it's completely funded just by this one commercial deal. That's the Barcelona lifestyle, completely funded by a retail property in Parramatta. Now, if you like these sorts of videos, go watch my last video where I show you how one commercial property deal completely funds a beachfront apartment in Miami. So go watch that video next and subscribe so you don't miss out.